Theories of emotion. James Lange theory of emotion. This theory of emotion is based on the work of William James 1884, 1890, 1894, who was also the founder of the functionalist perspective in the early history of psychology, and a physiologist and psychologist in Denmark. Carl Lange, 1885, came up with an explanation of emotion so similar to that of James that the two names are used together to refer to the theory, the James Lange theory of emotion. In this theory, a stimulus of some sort, for example, the large snarling dog, produces a physiological reaction. This reaction, which is the arousal of the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system wanting to run, produces bodily sensations such as increased heart rate, dry mouth, and rapid breathing. James and Lange believed that physical arousal led to the labeling of the emotion, fear. Simply put, I am afraid because I am aroused, I am embarrassed because my face is red, I am nervous because my stomach is fluttering, and I am in love because of my heart rate increases when I look at her or him. Overall, according to the James Lange theory of emotion, first there is a stimulus because of snarling dog, then physiological arousal, high blood pressure, high heart rate, sweating will appear, and finally emotion as a result of fear will occur. 2. Cannon-Bard theory of emotion. Physiologists Walter Cannon and 1927 and Philip Bard, 1934, theorized that the emotion and the physiological arousal occur more or less at the same time. Cannon, an expert in sympathetic arousal mechanisms, did not feel that the physical changes aroused by different emotions were distinct enough to allow them to be perceived as different emotions. Bard expanded on this idea by stating that the sensory information that comes into the brain is sent simultaneously, by the thalamus, to both the cortex and the organs of the sympathetic nervous system. The fear and the bodily reactions are, therefore, experienced at the same time, not one after the other. I am afraid and running and aroused. According to the theory of Cannon-Bard theory of emotion, first there is a stimulus because of snarling dog, then subcortical brain activity starts, then both physiological arousal, high blood pressure, high heart rate, sweating will appear simultaneously with emotion as a result of fear will occur. 3. Schechter-Singer and cognitive arousal theory. The early theories talked about the emotion and the physical reaction, but what about the mental interpretation of those components? In their cognitive arousal theory, Schechter-Singer 1962 proposed that two things have to happen before emotion occurs: the physical arousal and labeling of the arousal base on cues from the surrounding environment. These two things happen at the same time, resulting in the labeling of the emotion. For example, if a person comes across a snarling dog while taking a walk, the physical arousal, heart racing, eyes opening wide, is accompanied by the thought, cognition, that this must be fear. Then and only then will the person experience the fear of emotion. In other words, I am aroused in the presence of a scary dog, therefore I must be afraid. According to Schechter-Singer and cognitive arousal theory, first there is a stimulus because of snarling dog, then both cognitive appraisal, physiological arousal, high blood pressure, high heart rate, sweating will appear simultaneously, and eventually emotion will occur because of fear.